Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for clicking on this video. I am Martin Prevost, and this is the Smashy Smashy Eggman movie reviews and more channel. So normally I'd be coming on a Thursday night to talk about a new movie that I just saw in theaters. The Black Phone or Elvis being the two that come out this week. I'm not talking about either of those movies right now. I will, however, be talking about the Black Phone tomorrow night, as I'm seeing it with a friend tomorrow. Tonight, however, I did go to the theater, and I did watch something, and I could have grabbed something before I started this video. But oh well, I'm already talking, so we're just gonna move on. So tonight I went out and saw the 35th anniversary screening of G.I. Joe, the movie. Now this movie came out the same year I did, and it is a movie I've watched since I can remember. Both my father, my godfather, and my brother were all fans of G.I. Joe, so this was something that was watched fairly regularly. And then I became a fan of G.I. Joe, and I started watching it even more regularly. So when I found out there was a 35th anniversary screening, I thought, yeah, I want to go to that. I want to go check that out. I want to see that movie on the big screen. A couple of years ago, I got to see Transformers, the movie, on the big screen, and that was a lot of fun. So I'm like, well, I want to see G.I. Joe, because they're both kind of in the same universe, and they're definitely in the same spectrum of movies. And I could have grabbed my Blu-ray of G.I. Joe the movie or my VHS copy of it. I just didn't think of it because I just walked through the door and decided to start recording a review. There is a review for this movie way back when. I did it in December of 2020. It was a 3-pack of animated movies. I think I also talked about the Simpsons movie, and I honestly can't remember. But I have talked about it. But this is gonna focus on G.I. Joe the movie for a couple of minutes, and seeing it in a theater, because it's celebrating its 35th anniversary. This movie came out in 1987. The weird thing is, in 1987, people didn't go to see this movie in a movie theater, because it and Transformers the movie were being made at the same time. They're both Hasbro properties. I think Marvel also owned them at the time they were releasing the comic books. Hasbro was releasing the toys, and Sunbow was releasing the animated series for both entities. There's also, I want to say My Little Pony might have also been getting a theatrical movie, but it is just kind of an offshoot. It still fits, I think it still had the same parent companies. It just doesn't fit the story as fun. So they were making G.I. Joe the movie, Transformers the movie. G.I. Joe the movie went into production first. Therefore, they figured it would release first in theaters. Over time, there were production delays, and Transformers got finished first. So Transformers was put out into theaters, and G.I. Joe got Transformers. So Transformers took G.I. Joe's release date, and G.I. Joe took Transformers' release date, which was the later date in 1987. Transformers released, and it didn't do great at the box office. It wasn't a huge critical movie, and therefore it was decided that G.I. Joe the movie wouldn't get a theatrical release. It would get a direct-to-video release, and so it never made it into theaters in 1987. It just went straight to video. So it's kind of weird celebrating its 35th anniversary by going to a movie theater to watch this movie that was never screened in a theater. And that's, from my experience living in Wisconsin, that's not a very common thing. Like, you get classic movies being ran on the big screen. It happens. I've seen The Thing, Back to the Future, Gremlins, Little Shop of Horrors, all of the Muppet movies up to, well, the Muppet movie, Great Muppet Caper, Muppets Take Manhattan, and Muppets from Space. Although I was alive when Muppets from Space came out originally, but I did see it as a special showing type thing. I've seen Animal House, so this happens. But all the movies I just listed, one, all had theatrical releases, and two are all fairly popular films. G.I. Joe the movie is a very niche audience of fans who basically remember the show and remember this movie from when they were kids. So this is a very weird event. The theater wasn't packed. There were like 8 of us in this theater watching this classic animated film, and it was really weird. It was great seeing the movie on the big screen and just like getting this experience that not a lot of people have ever gotten. I don't know how many times this movie has been shown in theaters since it came out in the last 35 years. I have to assume a couple, like random screenings here and there, but I can't imagine more than a couple of hundred, maybe a couple of thousand people have ever actually seen this movie on a big screen. And it was really cool. It was really nice getting to sit there and hear it, and the sound, and it was just all very immersive, and still like having the nostalgia you get when you watch a movie you really enjoy, whether it's the second time you've ever watched it or the 102nd time you've ever watched it. That nostalgia still flows over you, but now it's different because you're in a theater, and it has the light controls and everything else is going on, and it's just such a cool feeling to experience a classic movie that you really enjoy, that you've never seen on the big screen, to see it that way. I know a lot of people go, well, you can just go home and watch it, but it's not the same experience. You can't recreate a theater experience without a theater. If you have a home theater, like I know if you have enough money, you can actually have a screen and a project, and you can do it, and that's cool, and then you can experience any movie you want that way. But if you don't have that kind of money, then you have to wait for a movie to come out, like Fathom does, because this was a Fathom event. So it's really cool, especially because this movie opens with just a great song. It's the G.I. Joe opening theme, but it's way bigger. It's got way more lyrics, and it's this great scene of the G.I. Joes and Cobra fighting over a bomb that's been placed in the Statue of Liberty. It is this beautifully animated scene, and it is amazing, and it's a great song. As much as I think Transformers the movie is the superior of the two movies in a lot of different aspects, I think it's a real neck and neck on the actual, like, the Transformers theme from Transformers the movie versus G.I. Joe's theme from G.I. Joe the movie. I think they're neck and neck. Transformers might almost, or G.I. Joe might almost edge them out, because that song, the minute I go, I kind of want to watch G.I. Joe the movie, my brain immediately goes, Cobra, 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 and the song just starts running through my head. Well, Transformers the movie, although has a great opening song, that dun 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 Transformers. That's not the first song that pops in my head from that movie. It's probably gonna be Stan Bush's The Touch, because that song is awesome. And there's that movie's got great music end to end. While G.I. Joe has really cartoony music, like it's the stuff you probably would have heard on the animated series. I feel like when they decided it was going to be direct to video, they cut back on some of the other stuff that Transformers got because it was theatrical, and G.I. Joe, they just hadn't gotten that far yet. So they went, you know what, let's scale that stuff back because now it's direct to video. So it was cool. It was cool seeing this moment on the big screen and then getting to watch the rest of this movie, which it was just a great moment. It was an on-spot. It was just an awe moment of, that's something 35 years old that most people have probably forgotten about, can still entertain people on the big screen, can still be projected and allow people who have this interest to gather together and enjoy it in the way it was originally meant to be seen. So I think it's just really cool. It's a great experience, and it's a great movie. If you like G.I. Joe, I know the live action movies aren't great. I think they're better than the Transformers live action movies, but but the animated movie is a really good plot. It's a solid story. It doesn't waste too much time trying to set up the characters, even the new characters. It's just, it wants to give you what you need, but it wants to tell this story, and it's only got an hour and a half to tell this story, so it's got to move briskly. Basically, the story of the movie is Cobra is in a losing fight with the Joes. They can't win any of their battles because the Joes keep defeating them, keep beating them in these battles. And Cobra is looking to blame someone. Serpentor, the leader of Cobra, blames Cobra Commander, who is the military leader. He is the one who's running these operations and is the one who's calling for the retreat. And Cobra Commander is being backstabbed by everyone who works for him, saying that yes, he is the problem. Because he probably is. He probably is the problem. Well, somebody breaks in to Cobra's compound, and you find out it is Pythona, who's there to talk to Serpentor about stealing a device called the Broadcast Energy Transmitter, which basically puts out energy into the air. The G.I. Joes are testing the BET. They're attacked by Cobra. Serpentor is captured. Cobra Commander takes the remaining Cobra troops to flee into the mountains of the Himalayas to a place called Cobra La, which is where Cobra Commander is from, and is where an ancient 40,000-year-old race of beings that only use organic materials lives. They are under the leadership of Globulus. Globulus takes in the Cobra troops, but takes Cobra Commander as a prisoner. Eventually, Cobra breaks Serpentor out of the G.I. Joe prison so that he can complete his mission, which is to steal the Broadcast Energy Transmitter, because Cobra Law has spores that can mutate anything that breathes them, but the spores have to be launched into space and then warmed in space, but space is cold, but the BET can warm space, so if they warm space, the pods will erupt, and everything on Earth that isn't in Cobra Law will be mutated, and Cobra Law can then take back over the Earth. If you've noticed, I haven't really talked about G.I. Joe's plot of this movie, because it's the less interesting plot. The movie opens with Cobra, and that's the plot point you follow. G.I. Joe's plot is centered on one new character named Lieutenant Falcon, who is the brother of Duke, who is one of the main Joes, and him, being disobedient and being sent to train with Sergeant Slaughter, and that is the same Sergeant Slaughter who was WWF World Champion in 1991. Same guy, same voice. A wrestler was brought into G.I. Joe, not the first time. Roddy Piper also was in G.I. Joe as a Cobra, as a member of Cobra. Really weird. So that's the G.I. Joe side. It's not as an interesting story as the mutation spores that Cobra has. Cobra Commander eventually gets hit with the mutation spores as a punishment and starts turning into a snake. His stuff is great. I love him as the snake. I can't even do the voice. I can't even kind of do the voice actor's voice, because that man was like a 3-pack-a-day smoker, and he sounded like a 3-pack-a-day smoker. He's also the voice of Starscream in the old Transformers animated series. And it's the same voice. This man did not do voices. He did the one voice, but it sounded great for every character he did. It just fit. It fit the characters he was doing. But yeah, I love this movie. I love the way it builds. I like how it decides to focus. At the end, it focuses on Sergeant Slaughter, Falcon, and another new recruit named Jinx, who's just a recruit who's kind of Falcon's love interest, and it is there. It focuses on those three characters at the end of the movie fighting Globulus, Serpentor, Pythona, and Nemesis Enforcer, and trying to stop the spores and get the BET to turn off and then get it to turn back on to destroy the spores. One of the most interesting parts of this movie is that it made a change because it had to. Because Transformers the movie released first, and it kills off Optimus Prime in that movie, and children got real sad over the death of Optimus Prime. They agreed originally that Transformers would kill off Optimus Prime and G.I. Joe would kill off Duke, who was the main character of the TV show. Because there was such a strong backlash against Optimus Prime dying, I laughed out loud in the theater. I laugh every time I hear this bit whenever I rewatch this movie. But because I sit in the theater, it was a little louder. It was a theater laugh. When after Duke is stabbed in the heart by a snake, he is stabbed in the heart. Serpentor says that snake was meant for your heart because he was going to throw it at Falcon, and Duke jumped in the way. So you have to imagine that snake found a heart. That was a heart-finding snake. That when Duke dies in the movie, they added in a voiceover of another character because Duke is being cradled in his in one of the other Joe's arms at that moment. So they just had the actress who voices that character add in the line, "Oh no, he's gone into a coma." So instead of saying he's dead, he went into a coma. Though he was definitely stabbed in the heart. And then at the end of the movie, they just have a couple of dubbed lines over going, "Duke woke up from his coma!" Like a radio of one of the medics on the Joe squad just announcing Duke's woken up from his coma. Because they couldn't kill Duke. Because it pissed off kids when Optimus Prime died, they had to have Duke fall into a coma. And then wake back up. So yeah, I love this movie. It's been with me since my childhood. Like I said, I've owned it. I own a VHS copy somewhere on my VHL chest racks. I got a DVD of it when DVDs were a thing. And when I found it sitting at an exclusive company on Blu-ray, I bought that thing. I didn't even look to see how much they wanted for it. I just knew it had to go home with me because it was G.I. Joe the movie on Blu-ray. I don't have a lot of G.I. Joe stuff in my house, as much as I am a fan of it. And I know my old toys are still stored somewhere. I'm pretty sure at my mom's house there's a bin filled with G.I. Joe toys. I have some Pops, just of Cobra, because I think they're the more interesting looking characters of G.I. Joe. And I also have like a package of like 6 mini Joes. But I don't have a lot of... And I have a lunchbox, which used to sit as part of my set like a year ago. I still have it. But yeah, I really do like G.I. Joe, and it was nice. It was nice getting to go see it on a big screen and enjoy it, and just get to experience that one more time. Or, not one more time, just get to experience it at all. Because again, this was a movie that was never released in theaters back in 1987, so to get to go to see it in theaters was just great. I did not expect to talk for 20 minutes about G.I. Joe the movie, but here I am talking for 20 minutes about G.I. Joe the movie. Like I said, it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. If you've never seen it, locate a copy. Check it out. Check out Transformers the movie, too. They're both really good. They're both some really good classic animation. It was really funny. When I was a kid, like, these movies are each only like an hour and a half, but in my kid mind, like, the action and the plot and all that made that hour and a half feel like the most exciting, like, half a day of my child life. Like, I'd sit there and watch those movies, and to me, it felt like they were this big, expansive thing that took forever. And I feel this with a lot of old movies that I watched a lot when I was a kid and I watch now. Like, time worked differently then. Like, that hour and a half, like, you pour, as a kid, for me, I poured over the scenes of this movie. So, like, to me, each segment had to have been, like, 20 minutes to a half an hour long, even though they're, like, 5 minutes to 10 minutes long. But there was just so much to take in. I just thought they were experiences. They were truly experiences when I was a kid. And now I watch them and I know how long they actually are. And I just watch how quickly they move from thing to thing. When I thought there was a whole lot of other filler in these movies. And they just move real quick. And I'm like, well, that's amazing. They're still great movies. But it's just amazing how my mind has changed. Since I was like a 4 or 5 year old watching this movie. to being a 35-year-old, the same age as the... I keep forgetting I'm the same age as this movie, because it's just been in my life as far back as I can remember. So I just don't think I'm the same age of it as it. I feel like I have to have been born well before, like a couple of years before it came out, but I was born a couple of months before it came out. But yeah, I like G.I. Joe the movie. Like I said at the top of the video, I'll do a review for the Black Phone tomorrow after I see it. Other than that, just the regular stuff that's coming out. Dr. Strangelove dropped yesterday, and the Top Gun review, if you watch my channel update where I changed the name of the channel, I said Top Gun was the next review. I was way off. Top Gun is this upcoming Wednesday. So yeah, check those out. Look around the channel, see what else is interesting to check out. Alright, I'm Martin Prevost. This is Smashy Smashy Eggman movie reviews and more, and I will talk to you next time.